Welcome back, Troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. Today, we learned that less is more? I don't know about that, but take a look at this thing. The 2004 Gibson Custom Shop Les Paul. That's right, not a typo, L-E-S-S, meaning this Lester Paul has a little bit of something missing. So let's check this thing out. All right, okay, so first off, you're gonna notice, what has gone on with our cutaways? Is this why it's called a Les Paul? Because we have less body? It's like, did Gibson really try to make a Telecaster out of a Les Paul? That's kind of what they did here. They've just got a little bit more of a swoop right there, and then like that normal Telecaster horn before you meet that Les Paul body. Oh my goodness, that's the first time I've realized that. And then the cutaway here does not go all the way up to where it normally does. It kind of falls off. So that is certainly interesting, but what else has changed here? Well, you still have one humbucker in the neck, you got a humbucker in the bridge, a Nashville Tune-o-matic with a regular tailpiece. Seems like the regular style knobs of the era. It's got the same carved maple top with the gold finish going on. No poker chip. That's actually really surprising. It's not like this thing came out in like the late 2010s era when they started doing stuff like that. This is 2004, smack dab in the middle of the golden era of USA Les Paul standards. But I suppose if they put a poker chip on there, this would look really short. And take a look at that. The strap button's in like such a strange location. I mean, that's where it normally is, but it just looks out of place there. Okay, so that's the front. Here's a nice full body shot. It doesn't look as bad here. It's like a double cut Les Paul, but a little bit more Les Paul-like. I can see why they were trying to do something like this, but I don't think it looks good enough to make it to production, and I think that makes sense why we've never seen one of these before. But zooming into the fretboard, those inlays look really particularly nice. It's likely still an acrylic material, but they just have a lot of figuring within them that looks like a really clean rosewood fretboard with your standard binding. Got your fret nibs and all that. Nothing crazy going on here. As far as the headstock, they didn't like name it Les Paul on here. It's still a Les Paul model. And it looks like they've opted for Grover tuner stock from the factory, and you get a little bit of an outline around the Gibson logo. I know I tell you guys this all the time, but that's how you tell Gibsons are real. But I get so many questions of people asking, is this a real Gibson? I see it has these outlines on it. Is it a sticker? No, that's just how Gibson does it. There's ways to do it so that wouldn't happen, but that is how Gibson does it. And it's one of those things that you know it's real if it's got that. Most of the fakes, they don't bother to do that. So yeah, that's it. Just a weird double cut Les Paul shape, but oh my, you guys really thought just the double cutaway was the reason why I'm gonna give this its own episode? What have they done? I love it and hate it at the same time. It reminds me of the twisted Les Paul standard that somebody did. You can check out this video if you want to learn more about that one. But this, so everything, the entire game has changed back here. So a regular Les Paul heel has now been kind of shaven away. They've gotten rid of portions of the body here, completely sculpted and contoured this. It would actually be incredibly comfortable to play this thing because it still has the binding on the top, so it looks a little bit more traditional, but I can just feel how comfortable that would be because they even got the cutaway out of your way. You could get to pretty much every single fret with this particular design. But on top of that, this has an additional contour carve right here, as well as pretty much all along this. But look at that. This is taking a belly cut to an extreme. If I'm looking at this photo right, I think the guitar actually is concave in that area. So you can just put your big old beer gut in there and your guitar will just naturally rest right against your body. Because this area is definitely chunked up, likely to fit the long capacitors and the regular toggle switch. If they would have thinned it out like a Les Paul Custom Light, they would have had to have used different style stuff. So yeah, completely sculpted, contoured out, craziness. I don't know what more to say, but you still have your regular back plates on here, and it's still the gold finish. How freaky would this have looked if they would have left that a natural color? Did they do anything crazy with the neck? Doesn't seem like it. That's a blazingly gold finish. It's like they almost did one of those double gold type things on here. But no volute or anything like that. We even have a Gibson custom shop decal on there, so you know that this was probably like some sort of experimental prototype or something. But yeah, that's it. Weird double cutaway with a freakishly sculpted body. You're not really gonna let me fake you out twice, are ya? This is the true reason why I wanted to feature this guitar. That is a thick headstock. I love it. I wouldn't call this the Les Paul, but it would definitely end in 2 S's. That's just hilarious. The open book headstock has been transformed into something else because they even contoured the edges of that. Interesting. So this serial number to me actually dates to 2001. So I'm not quite sure where the dealer got 2004 from. Maybe this is just some weird thing, or they got it from a guy who said that they bought it in 2004. So this was likely some sort of experimental prototype. You know, in the early 2000s, they were trying to spice it up. The double cutaway Les Pauls were kind of starting to not be as popular. So they were trying something new in the custom shop. But is the Les Paul it? I don't think so. I don't think so, but it is actually called the Les Paul. It's miraculous that this guy still has the COA. This is a guitar that was likely worth buying for a full review and demo. Man, they even gave you a pick guard if you wanted to install it. But ultimately, I decided just to leave this as a rock or not. But if you want to add this weird experimental guitar to your collection, it is available on Reverb by Garrett Park Guitars for $6,500 plus $50 shipping. They're open to offers. It's been for sale for quite some time, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 3 months and not a single offer. So maybe people just can't find this or they're not interested. This is one of those guitars where if you just want something freaky to make people go, "What are you playing on stage?" this is the guitar for you. Like, I could see Pat Schmear from the Foo Fighters buying this guitar, because he has a very cool collection of weird oddball models. But let's see if there's anything else that the seller can tell us here. So from their research, this was developed by Bruce Kunkel in 2001. Okay, yep, that definitely matches with our serial number. And if you don't know, Bruce Kunkel, he's the guy that did the Snake Pit Les Pauls, him and his apprentice, and he still does his own guitars under his own company today. So he's a very artsy and craftsy guy. I'm not sure everything he did with Gibson, but he used to be like the custom carver who would do all the art guitars. But he is no longer with Gibson at this time. So apparently he's the one that's behind this, and they just added extra contours and changed up the cutaways and blended the neck into the body. And apparently it's supposed to be very lightweight. So having a Bruce Kunkel made guitar, that's actually kind of cool. And they went for a 59 neck profile with Gibson's Burstbucker 1 and 2 pickups. Typical nitro finish with a hard shell case. I'm assuming all the woods are the same, so mahogany body, maple top, rosewood fretboard, mahogany neck. So finding a prototype of a model that never came to be, yes, that is pretty rare. All things considered, I'd say their asking price is fair. And the fact that they have the COA and they can kind of back up this story definitely makes sense of their price a little bit here. So that is everything. Unfortunately, I do not have a playing demo to share of this one, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed taking a look at the Les Paul. So you guys gotta let me know down in the comment section, would you rock the Les Paul or not? What's your favorite feature of this thing? I really like the goofy looking headstock, but I would be very interested in feeling this body because that is just strange. And since we got a little bit of time left today, I thought we would take a look at a few other Les Pauls that I found that were kind of interesting. So this first one is advertised as a Gibson Les Paul Standard exclusive. I wanted to share this because that is a fantastic top. It's got a great quilting to it. It's almost perfectly book matched, but that color matched with his grass, it actually looks pretty good. Now when it's in regular lighting situations, maybe not as pretty as this photo, but that thing really comes to life on stage. So that's just a regular Les Paul Standard with a fancy top. Now the back is just a natural mahogany color, which is something I prefer. And it does have a little bit of wear, and it was made in 2011, and you have locking Grover tuners on it. How much is it? Only slightly more than a brand new Les Paul Standard. At $2,700 and $100 shipping, he is open to offers. Now you might say, why would you not just buy a brand new guitar? Well, they don't currently make them in green, they don't currently offer quilt tops outside of custom orders. or you just happened to get lucky, and it was likely some sort of a limited edition run. It's strange how the used market works, but I mean, that's not a crazy price by any means. And here's another one along similar lines. This is not the most extreme quilt top, but it's got a lot of bubbles going on with it. So having this naturally like blue burst finish, it's just kind of interesting. I wanted to share it, especially because the back is also a brown color, which kind of matches these off cream plastics. It looks like somebody has replaced our knobs to even accentuate that even further. It's like a piece of driftwood floating in the ocean. Maybe that's why I like this one. But it looks like it had a 2-piece mahogany back with lots of ringage, and it was made in 2018. But if I remember correctly, this has already sold and was listed for, whoa, $3,200. I'm not sure how much he accepted for it, but if you're interested in something similar, there's one there. But man, this stock photo looks fantastic. A 2015, man, that means it'll have 2015 specs. Yep, robo tuners, large nut width. However, with the abalone trapezoid inlays that are just going crazy on that, and that particular top, I think I'd be willing to look past that all. I love that the abalone toppers on the knobs match with that. Unfortunately, that's not the same guitar. I don't think he should have that in there. He's using that as an attention getter piece, and he's not really allowed to do that. And lastly, a couple of weeks ago, the Music Zoo brought in a gorgeous Nighthawk custom from 1995. I've been looking for the right one for a while, and this was it, but it sold, I think, within like 2 hours or something crazy like that. They actually got 2 of these Nighthawks in. One of them might have been a Blues Hawk, I don't remember, but this one was just like fantastic. It was clean, it had great wood figuring, and it sold for $2,299. All right, troglodytes, thank you for tuning in today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will catch you tomorrow on the next episode. Take care.